everybody. How are you guys? We're heading through Oklahoma and under the cover of darkness. And earlier this afternoon, I passed Tulsa just as the sun was setting, and we got busy doing other things, taking phone calls, taking care of business. So I didn't get a chance to make this video, but let's do it now. It's 10 things you can only do in Tulsa, Oklahoma. Number one, a lot of people don't know this. Tulsa, Oklahoma is the bed and breakfast capital of the world. Guys, if you're traveling and you want an ultimate bed and breakfast experience, you'll want to stop in Tulsa, because it's ideally located between north and south, east and west. As travelers go every which direction, they stop in Tulsa for an ultimate bed and breakfast. Now you might say, well, why wouldn't the ultimate bed and breakfast experience be on the Oregon coast, or in La Jolla, California, or off the coast of Maine? Why Tulsa? Because it's the nexus of traveling in the United States. And that's why there are over 1,300 bed and breakfasts in Tulsa, Oklahoma, from the smallest to the largest. In fact, the International Bed and Breakfast Proprietors Association International is based right there in Tulsa. If you want the ultimate bed and breakfast, guys, you're going to want to go directly to Tulsa and stop there as you're coming through, because it's number one on our list of things you can only do in Tulsa, Oklahoma. Number two, guys, along those lines, Halloween is coming up, and if you are going to be buying candy, you may want to consider buying it direct from the manufacturer, because 65% of the world's candy corn is made right in Tulsa, Oklahoma. And candy corn is such a big part of Halloween. And a lot of people just go down to the 99-cent store, down to the Target, picking up their candy. But you can buy it direct, guys, from candy corn manufacturers. You'll save 50 to 75% on your candy corn this Halloween. Here we are saving money out there, and it's something that you can only do in Tulsa, Oklahoma. Number three, guys, do you have kids? Are you sometimes struggling to help them with their homework? Because they come to you with your homework. They come to you with their homework, and they're like, "Can you help me with these problems?" And you're like, "Sure, I'll help you. Let's have a seat, kitchen table, wherever, dining room table, in the car, wherever." And within 10 seconds, you realize you have no idea what the lesson is trying to teach. It's like it's in Klingon. Well, in Tulsa, they have a no-charge board of former teachers, many of which were in the Tulsa public schools and private schools for decades. And you can call them up and say, "Hey, man, help me with this problem, with this. I can't understand this Klingon." And these teachers will help you at no charge, and they'll give you advice on how to, because teaching is a skill. They'll give you advice on how to go over the problem with your kid, the problems, the word problems, the math problems, so that the kid does it themselves. But you offer guidance and support. Guys, it's the free 1-800 number to former Tulsa school teachers. It's called 1-800-SCHOOL-MARM. 1-800-SCHOOL-MARM. Type in all those letters, and here's the fun thing. They know that a lot of people are going to misspell school. They've already got it covered. You can type it into the phone keypad, SKOOLMARM, and you'll still be covered. You'll get right to one of those teachers, guys. It's going to help you out a lot. Now, folks, number 4 is a fun one, because, Tulsa, it's really relatively close to Oklahoma City, but in a lot of people's minds, they're about the same size. They have never been there, don't know. But Tulsa is not as big as Oklahoma City on what we call the MSA, the Multiple Standard Affluence Index, which measures it's a correlation between acreage, consumption of corn on the cob tied to the household income for the various cities. So in other words, Tulsa is punching above its weight. Tulsa has a very high profile all over the world. And potentially that's because it's been in movies. Everybody remembers From Tulsa to Forever. It's been in subject of some of the biggest pop songs in the world. For example, the Beatles had that one song that was so popular, Let It Be Tulsa, which talked about a couple that were trying to move to a new city. They wanted to get out of New York. And they looked at Des Moines, they looked at Rochester, they looked at Bentonville. And then it goes into the chorus where George Harrison sings, Let It Be Tulsa. So, in other words, when you visit Tulsa, you're going to learn a lot more. It'll surprise you that it's as small as it is, because in your mind, it's a giant. But that tells you a lot about marketing, and it's something that you'll only do in Tulsa, Oklahoma. Number 4. Wow! Can you imagine? Thunderstorms in Oklahoma are something to behold. I mean, I just went through 2 of them last night, and as I mentioned in another video, it feels like God is coming back. It feels like this is the return of the Lord, because the lightning is so dramatic, and it feels like something is happening, like the return of God. But so far, unless he's working at a 7-Eleven somewhere and has yet to reveal himself, so far he has not rode, he has not come down on one of those lightning bolts. But what I'm going to tell you, we're going to blow your socks off a little bit, and that is that Tulsa, the University of Tulsa, has learned to harness that electricity, guys. It's a new science coming out of the University of Tulsa where they capture lightning bolts inside the bottles of iced tea. Bottled iced tea has turned out to be the perfect liquefier of lightning bolt electricity. And so now the iced tea bottle is completely electrified. So in other words, if your car's battery died, you could stick the cables right on the iced tea that's sitting in the passenger seat that you have yet to open. Okay? So this kind of science tells you how far advanced Oklahoma is, and Tulsa in particular, in providing solutions to today's most challenging scientific and technical problems and issues. And it's something you can only do in Tulsa, Oklahoma. Number 5. As usual, the count's off, but that's right. Number 5. Guys, Tulsa is a word that is handed down through the generations, and a lot of times people don't realize the original name of the town of Tulsa was something completely different. They called it Sunnyville because a lot of times the storms that hit Oklahoma City would avoid Tulsa completely. So the original founders of Tulsa called it Sunnyville. Now that lasted 5 years because something happened tragic where one of the happiest residents of Tulsa met a unfortunate fate where they were faced with a grizzly bear outside of a Circle K right by the gas pump where they had gotten gas, and all of a sudden this bear appeared Now remember, this is in the early days of the automotive world. We're talking like 1905. And the bear ate the guy. And now we're talking about one of the friendliest, nicest guys in Sunnyvale at that time. They called him Sonny Bob. Now Sonny Bob, they had to sew his body back together with thread that they used at the local hat shop to sew brooches and flowers onto the hats of the ladies that go into Sunday Mass. They sewed his body back together, but of course they had to change the name of the town because it wasn't very sunny after that, and somebody came up with the name Tulsa, which actually is a word that is used by merchant marines. When a ship comes up to the dock, they yell out, "Tulsa! Tulsa!" And a lot of the early settlers of Tulsa were merchant marines. They were tired of getting sick on ships and taking all that Dramamine. They came out to Tulsa because they figured, well, that's about as far as from an ocean as you can get. And guys, that's an amazing thing. It's number 5 on our list of things you can only do in Tulsa, Oklahoma. Number 6. You know, why should people in Tulsa have all the fun? Right? I mean, it's a great place to live. They've got great food. Everybody's attractive. And they don't have any fights, right? Everybody's friendly and they all get along. So why is that? Well, it has to do with the original nature of the town, Sunnyvale, way back when. But also, there's something in the air in Tulsa that a lot of people don't know. It's a highly concentrated form of oxygen that, again, was originally an experiment to see if they could wake up horses from their deep sleep by putting this mask on their big long nose there, their snout, and to see if this oxygen mixture would wake them up faster. Because what was happening is in the old days, they needed these horses to run the city, to deliver the milk, you know, to get people to where they're going. They had an early Lyft and Uber that was all horse driven. But the horses were half asleep. Sometimes they'd stop in the middle of their duties and just sleep in the middle of Tulsa, you know. So they came up with this oxygen mixture, and of course, as time went by, they didn't need it. The horses went by the wayside as cars took over. But they still had it, and the original developer would pump it out into the city at night, and it would wake people up and make them happy. So that's why today you have very little disagreement between Tulsonians, because they all love the city so much, and a lot of times they just high-five each other walking down the street. So, you know, if you're a visitor, go ahead and you know, don't hit anybody. Don't, you know, maintain a safe space. Don't enter their personal space. But hey, you're allowed to put your hand up in high-five motion, and it is a very good chance you're going to get a high-five back, because that's how positive they are in the city of Tulsa. The next one on our list, guys, is along those lines, and believe it or not, the happiness extends to the animals. They have the happiest dogs and cats in the state. And now, how do we know that? Well, it's because they actually smile. Now, certain breeds do have a sort of a face structure that makes it look like they're smiling. In Tulsa, the dogs and cats are actually smiling, guys. They're smiling. And that goes back to that oxygen mixture, which makes people happy. Well, it also made the dogs and cats happy. And that's important because people rely on their animals as companions and as friends. And because they're already happy, it just injects a happiness bomb in the people who are already happy. So it's like a upward spiral of happiness and this special oxygen mixture, guys. It's unbelievable. It's number 8 on our list. And number 9 is maybe not as positive, but you know how Albuquerque, New Mexico has that balloon festival every year? Well, if you don't, Albuquerque, New Mexico is home of the International Balloon Festival. Not a few dozen, hundreds, maybe 1,000 balloons go up in the air. It's a spectacle. Well, they have a very similar thing in Tulsa, and it happens on Valentine's Day. And again, maybe this isn't as positive, but so many guys are getting those balloons for their Valentines. I love you. You're my special someone. You're my snuggle wump. Snuggle pump. Well, that might be too. But what is happening is these guys were giving these balloons to girls on Valentine's Day, and they didn't lay the groundwork. They just figured they were done. But you know, guys are dumb. They don't know to give her love notes leading up to Valentine's Day. They don't realize you have to give compliments, right, on the days leading up to Valentine's Day. You don't just want to wait till Valentine's Day and then get all lovey-dovey and spring some balloons on them. It makes them think that you are not putting any creativity into your relationship, nor do you care on a day-to-day basis, just on major holidays like your birthday and Valentine's Day. And then you get surprised because they get mad. You're like, what? What did I do? Well, guys, you got to give them every day. Give them a little bit of attention. Tell them you love them. Well, what was happening is they'd give them these balloons, and the girls would be, they'd fake them out. I love this. I love this. And they'd let the balloons go into the sky, guys. So on Valentine's Day in Tulsa, you'd have thousands and tens of thousands of Valentine's Day balloons dotting the sky. In fact, one year it blacked out the sun. Oh my goodness. Because the guys in Tulsa were just taking their girlfriends and wives for granted. So, well, but it was a lesson learned, guys. But I'm telling you, there's always a knucklehead or two. So every year you're going to see Valentine's Day balloons dotting the sky in Tulsa, and it's number 9 on our list of something you can only do in Tulsa, Oklahoma. And finally, number 10, or whatever the hell number it's supposed to be. Number 10. Oh my Lord. That should be the ongoing joke, right? The numbers are all wrong. Which I think is pretty accurate, because I get lost around number 4 or 5. It would help if I shortened up the BS. That would help. Then I might remember where I was. But number 10, guys, this is a really neat one because it has to do with mom. Everybody loves their mom, even if you had some crosswords now and then. She's your mom. She brought you into the world, and she took you to all those, activities that you were involved in, ballet, football, whatever it was, after school sports, student council. Remember when you came home and you said, and your mom said, hey, get in the car, I'm going to take you to school, and you said, hey, I need you to bake cookies for the bake sale. And your mom was like, what? Well, when is the bake sale? Next week? And you said, no, it's today. Remember how your mom took you to school, came home, and baked cookies all day because you were a knucklehead and didn't tell her until the very last minute? Well, that's why we all love our moms. And so Tulsa has a variation of Mother's Day they call Super Mother's Day. So all it is an attempt to give extra attention, extra love to our mothers, which is so important because they did the best they could. And if the benchmark is what it should be, which means they kept you alive, right? They kept you from stepping in front of the bus or whatever it was because you were a dumb kid. Then they did the job. All right, so they could have done a few things better, but yeah, so could you have. We could all do things better. And so on Super Mother's Day, the city of Tulsa selects 5 moms and they take them on a worldwide 1-year vacation, all expenses paid. All of the kids go, the moms go, the husband goes, or the if they're dating, whoever they're dating, they all go on a all expense 1-year, 12-month, 52-week vacation, all paid for by sponsors and the city of Tulsa. Guys, it's called Super Mother's Day, and it's something you can only do in Tulsa, Oklahoma. I hope you enjoyed that. See you on the next one.